All right, we live. We live. We live.
Live.
Yeah, we live, y'all. This is an urgent live stream that we definitely had to tap in on. Y'all already know how we do.
Fact.
When we seen Trump take over the DC on some dictatorship type of shit, we knew exactly what was going on. And this ain't about no damn crime. But we gonna get into it. We gonna give y'all time to, tap in. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in, cause y'all know we about to get into it. We about to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. And this one of them live streams people should be
Yeah,
tapped
it's
into.
damn sure not about no crime.
Yeah, right. This one of them ones right here people should be tapped into. All right, we're gonna just go ahead and get started. We see y'all piling up in here. Come on in, come on in. Yeah, this Trump dictatorship is crazy right now. That's because that's basically what it is, a dictatorship.
We got Trump out here using the federal government to take over the states, which that's the type stuff that lead to a dictatorship.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all know
yeah. This is
that
serious.
that's that Hitler type of movement.
Facts. That's just serious. And this,
Yeah.
like, soon as we see him deploy those soldiers and them federal agents patrolling Washington D.C., we already knew what it was.
Right.
We like, yeah, it's a certain situation that's about to go down where, and even when Trump did the press conference, he kind of named the key cities: D.C., Baltimore, New York. Um, what do you say, San Diego or San Francisco? One of them.
Think wasn't it San Diego,
I
New
think it was San
York,
Diego. Yeah, New York, Chicago,
Chicago,
Chicago. Yep,
DC?
yep.
And if he gonna take over those states, it's gonna spread.
All right, to the
This,
other
this the
areas
type stuff
around it.
that causes this the type stuff that causes civil wars also. Just to
Hmm.
let y'all know. And we
Facts.
haven't had a civil war in the United States in a century or so. So you already know it's about that time.
Right. All right. They go. Somebody said, "I live in D.C. I'm mostly seeing Homeland Security in areas they aren't even needed." Yeah, because this is a
Yeah.
totalitarian takeover. You know what I
Yeah, this
mean?
this is this is going to get real crazy if people don't stand up to this early.
Facts. I,
Certain states they will, and I have a feeling it's going to cause a civil war, y'all.
yeah. And them hillbilly militias don't they don't play about this country, you know what I'm saying? And
This
that's the
is
ones they really need to worry about.
But those are the ones who support Trump, though. That's what they did. See, Trump was there as a
They gonna turn
psyop
on him though.
to
Yeah,
get those type of guys on his side, but they gonna turn on him. Yeah, they gonna turn him because
they
they
gonna
realize
turn on him.
he ain't really what they thought he was.
You know,
And you could tell that he really ain't what they thought he was with how he handled the Epstein stuff. Because we know,
facts.
and that's another reason why he's deploying all that. Because he know damn well he's on that Epstein list.
Yeah, he distracted from the Epstein list. Facts.
Hell yeah, not just that. The
Hmm.
takeover that in the United States and globally.
Yeah,
That's another thing that's happening. See, it's a
right.
lot of stuff that's happening right now that's not being talked about because they got us distracted with other stuff.
Yeah, but we gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk
We gonna
about it.
we gonna talk about it.
And we
So
suggest that y'all
right.
share this to everybody because not a lot of people is talking about what's happening right now. And this is happening. This ain't even no freaking theory. Like this is
Mhm.
happening.
Right,
All the actions are being taken for this stuff to happen.
right. We need y'all to send this live stream out. We need y'all to click the like button as well and share this live stream out. Yeah, we gonna get into this press conference too, because this where it started at, where they kind of announced that they was sending in the National Guards and the federal law enforcement. So the White House proposes shelter or jail approach to homelessness in D.C. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into this. All right. So we're gonna start it off. Let me know if the sound good. We good on sound and all that.
Regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specifics about how homeless people will be dealt with, where they would be moved to? What does this look like?
I do, yes, and it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C. Code 22-1307 and D.C. Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services. And if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well. So we will be using these regulations and code that already exists to clean up our streets. And we've already had great success. Not many of you picked up on this, but the United States Park Police has actually done remarkable work in terms of removing homeless encampments from the city. Since the president signed this executive order in March, 70 homeless encampments have been removed by the U.S. Park Police. There are only 2 homeless encampments remaining in DC federal parks under the National Park Service's jurisdiction, and the removal of those 2 remaining camps is scheduled for this week. So the U.S. Park Police will be leading this effort alongside MPD.
Just very quickly, he had talked in one of his social media posts about moving them very far outside of the city. Is that off?
No, it's not off. We're exploring how we could do that. But again, homeless shelters, offered addiction and mental health services, or jail if they refuse, are the options on the table right now. And we'll continue to explore that option. The White House's message to our small business owners across the country is you have never had a better ally or friend or supporter in this White House than President Donald Trump, who is a businessman himself, who understands your concerns and who wants to restore wealth back to our country through the powerful use of tariffs. And that's what he's focused on doing, while simultaneously driving down costs. You have to remember, we are 6 months into this administration, and we had a president who had no business experience, had no idea what he was doing, and who funneled billions of wasteful spending dollars into our economy, which created the worst inflation crisis in a generation. Now this president is focused on tackling inflation, deregulating, cutting costs, cutting red tape to make it easier for small business owners to thrive. And again, the economic indicators show that we are moving in the right direction. In January, when this president showed up to the White House, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate was 3.7%. Today, 6 months later, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate is 2.4%. So we are trending in the right direction. Moving forward, since President Trump took office, for another 6 months, inflation will be tracking at 1.9% at this trajectory. You look at grocery prices, they fell, energy prices fell, fuel oil fell, ship fares fell, propane fell, butter, margarine, eggs, non-prescription drugs. You go through the list of items that are falling. And then I would also point to that report this morning showing that small business optimism has reached a 5-month high. So look, we inherited an economic mess from the previous administration, but this administration is focused on fixing it every day. And part of that is signing the largest tax cuts into law to put more money back into the pockets of these small business owners.
Just on the BLS, they collect the inflation data, obviously. If the jobs data is not reliable, should Americans trust the inflation data?
Well, look, the jobs data has had massive revisions. We want to ensure that all of the data, the inflation data, the jobs data, any data point that is coming out of the BLS is trustworthy and is accurate, which is why the president has restored new leadership at the BLS. There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents in the District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning, this was released in May of 2024. So it's quite funny how many of you in the media agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are disagreeing with him. But this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime is an extremely serious or a very serious problem. And this was up from 56% last year. So the concern that you share with so many other residents in the District of Columbia is real. And that's why this president is taking action to address it. To get to the heart of your question, I think it's despicable that Democrats cannot agree that we need more law and order in a city that has been ravaged by violence, crime, murders, property theft. This should be a winning issue for all Americans. I don't understand. It's just anything President Trump does, the Democrats want to disagree with. I think the president would love to work with Democrats on this issue to bring law and order to America's cities, but unfortunately they have failed. And that's why he's taken this historic action to federalize the National Guard. And as you're seeing from last night's numbers, we already have seen success. We are removing violent offenders. We are arresting criminals, and we are removing drugs and firearms off of the streets of the city to make it safe.
Over there lying. They over there lying. Yo, this is a straight lie. Now, they're walking through DC just basically just bothering folks. You know what I'm saying? They just bothering folks. Like, it's so much footage they didn't put out that people didn't record it with their camera. They just bothering folks.
Trump is in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act.
Right.
The Posse Comitatus Act is a U.S. federal law that restricts the use of the U.S. military for domestic law enforcement purposes. So what he's doing by using Homeland Security and soon National Guard and all, by him doing that, he's going to be in direct violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. The federal government should not be overstepping a jurisdiction for stuff that ain't really got nothing that don't even involve them. Stuff that the local police can handle. Like, there's no reason why he need Homeland Security and military and FBI out on the street doing stuff that local police can do.
All right.
Which is telling you that something bigger is happening. And something bigger is coming. They just getting us used to seeing this. So when things go down, they already be out there and people already be used to them being out there. Now, this is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous thing for them to do this, because this is an act of like martial law, which can actually trigger a civil war, because there's going to be certain states, certain jurisdictions that's just not going to tolerate that. And if they had to, they end up looking at the federal government as a terrorist,
right? Yeah,
as an act of terrorism, which they would have the right to. So what he's doing, he's stirring up stuff that don't need to be stirred up right now. Now, I agree that there's a lot of crime and stuff on the streets and all that, but the way he's going about things is not good. The way he's going about things is not good, and considering what's happening in these times in the United States and the world, this is really bad, because this is basically confirming what a lot of so-called conspiracy theorists been saying about this incoming collapse that's about to happen. And the first thing he gonna want to do is have military and Homeland Security out there on the street. And this is gonna be real bad for the states. This is going to be real bad. Now, first of all, they already trying to get rid of homeless. Now, you gotta think, it ain't enough homeless shelter to even hold all the homeless people out there right now. So where are they going to put them at? You gotta think, this is going to go back to when the United States did the stuff what they did to the Native Americans, what they did to the Japanese, what they did to a lot of other people by putting them in camps and stuff like that. Even so far as back not too far, when they was putting kids and stuff in cages at the border, they was doing that type stuff.
Facts.
Now they want to basically take this throughout the whole United States Now he's starting off with a couple of major cities, which we all know if he's going to start off with a couple major cities, you know it's going to spread to other cities.
Yeah,
And then
all the
before you
right.
know it, the whole United States is going to be under martial law. This is insane.
Right.
This
and
is not. This is y'all got it. This is bigger than anything that's being talked about right now. Like y'all don't understand how big this is and how this is going to impact everybody's life. This is when they can start just commandeering your houses, your cars, everything. Public transportation to be shut down. Yeah, I mean, you would be told when to go and when to leave. Y'all gotta understand how serious this is, and this can really trigger a civil war. And the same very people that voted for Trump, all the militias and all the people who believed that Trump was part of the right wing or whatever, they all right now is about to witness how fake all that was and how Trump was an actor from the very beginning. Because Trump, we said this on the stream before, Trump is an opportunist. Trump don't give a shit about no left or no right. Trump cares about Trump. Whoever's giving him the biggest checks to act however he needs to act, that's who he's going to go with. And right now in the United States, they want to bring in this whole digital system in these smart cities. And the only way they could do that is by collapsing the old system, which means it's going to drive the wealth gap even further. So it's going to, like, if you was poor before, you're going to be even more poor. And he's making it illegal. You see, it's playing chess, not checkers. And if you was wealthy before, you're going to be even more wealthy. All the wealthy right now is putting all their money into digital currencies right now. All the wealthy people who's in the know are buying bunkers and they putting all their money into Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and Cardano, Algorand, Solana. They're putting all their damn money into cryptocurrencies and digital currencies and stable coins while everybody else is struggling.
Yeah, because that's
they making sure prices are getting higher so the average person can't invest in crypto because they don't want the average person to invest in crypto. And they already got the life that a person who ain't got no money is going to live. They got all the fake food factories out there because if you ain't got no money, all you're going to be able to afford is Bill Gates fake butter, fake chicken, fake food. That's all you're going to be eating, and that's cancer ridden.
Yep.
Frankenstein 3D printed meats. That's all the hell you're gonna be eating. That's all you're gonna be eating, and the only access you're gonna have to anything is the access that they give you through their digital system. You ain't gonna be speaking to no humans. Everything's gonna be artificial. This is their plan for us. They want this by 2030.
All automated. Yep.
Everything automated. They want by 2030, and they want the poor to basically die off. And Trump is the perfect guy in the United States to cause all that because that's his thing. That's why they put that man in there. That's why they put that, and he's showing his true colors now.
Yeah, right.
He's showing us his true colors. All them right wing people that voted for him, thinking that he was going to bring a positive change to the United States and all that. That was delusion.
Right.
That was delusion.
And the thing about it is, this is second term. Like he went from doing his first term to sitting out. You know what I mean? For Biden to step in, and then when Biden got, when his old ass was out the way, they brought Trump back in. That was all planned by design.
And this is not a Democratic channel neither. They were just as bad. There's no politics that's for the people, y'all. There's the left or the right is not for the general public. Kamala wouldn't have been any better than Trump. Obama won't be no better than Trump. None of them are good for us. None of them.
Nah, because they all have to follow the same policies. Right?
They all follow the same policy, and they just do certain things that fall within their realm of the people that they got gassed up. Because that's all they do. All they followers, they gas up and making them think that they're for them, but we know they really not by their actions. They talk the good talk, but their actions always prove otherwise.
Well, then you got to look at how they started setting up, lining us up by, Supreme Court deciding that to criminalize homeless, basically, right? So they know it's going to be a lot more people homeless, and it's going to be a lot more people, revolutionizing against them too as well. So they made sure they put that shit in place, bro. And now this from a year ago. Now I want to play this because this from a year ago when they was deciding whether they was going to criminalize homelessness in this country. Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying?
Tonight at
Let me know if y'all can
5:30,
hear that. We good
the
on sound?
U.S. Supreme Court
Yeah.
is agreeing to review a
All right.
case which will dictate what cities can and cannot do to address homeless encampments.
Yeah, the review is tied to a case in Oregon, but it could have significant effects on a similar case here in the Bay Area. Crown 4's Dan Kermit reports.
The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to weigh in on a lower court ruling which has prevented officials across 9 western states from enforcing laws to remove people from homeless encampments. That decision by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in a Grants Pass, Oregon case indicated removing homeless individuals from the street when no alternative shelter was available amounted to cruel and unusual punishment. And the ruling has been cited in a San Francisco case, which has also limited the city's ability to enforce certain laws. That's why San Francisco officials are pleased the U.S. Supreme Court will now weigh in.
San Francisco, we filed an amicus brief in this case, and we articulated that we agree it doesn't make sense to criminally prosecute homeless individuals for sleeping on public property when they have no place to go. But the Grants Pass case misapplied the law and has left our city without the necessary tools to address homelessness and keep our streets safe and accessible.
City Attorney David Chu says, among other things, the High Court must clarify cities do not have to have a shelter bed for every unhoused person in the city. Governor Newsom has supported a Supreme Court review, and in a statement Friday, he said California has invested billions to address homelessness, but rulings from the bench have tied the hands of state and local governments to address this issue. The Supreme Court can now correct course and end the costly delays from lawsuits that have plagued our efforts to clear encampments and deliver services to those in need.
It's disappointing to see Governor Newsom and the city of San Francisco push that narrative.
Attorneys representing the Coalition on Homelessness in the San Francisco case are hopeful the Supreme Court will uphold the lower court ruling in the Oregon case.
Solution to our street homelessness crisis is temporary shelter and ultimately affordable housing. Cities know this, San Francisco knows this, and so we'd encourage the cities to implement those solutions rather than continuing to try and rely on failed solutions such as criminalization or scapegoat unhoused folks for problems that are decades in the making and involve really systemic issues that are not the fault of one unhoused community.
The matter is expected to be argued either in the spring or fall of this year.
There you have it. They trying to criminalize homeless. That way, they'll be able to force all those people into designated areas where smart cities is going to be built at. So that's basically what they're trying to do. They want to criminalize homelessness so they be able to move these people into designated areas. Right, somebody said Rec City 4. Yeah, that's part of the Rec City 4 plan. You know what I mean? And just based off the fact that Trump is already implementing martial law into DC, that's only going to trickle out to other states.
That's
chess. You know what I'm saying? And now they, like I said, earlier last year they didn't lined up, the Supreme Court to basically line up homeless and criminalize homelessness because they know once this economy collapses, there's going to be a lot more people that's going to be homeless. A lot more people going to be homeless, extremely poor, and they don't want a bunch of poor people walking around because they feel like it's going to be and it will trigger crime because if you got people out there starving, if you got people out there starving and they got they children to feed and all that, yes, it's going to create a very hostile environment. Yes, like you said, Isaiah. Civil war. It will create civil war.
They're gonna promote it as an epidemic so they can start taking out homeless people.
Right.
Because that's what they always did in history. If you read the history of every nation who went strictly dictatorship or totalitarianism, they always pick a group. It's usually the poor, the sick, the weak, the elderly. They always take them out first. They always target them first. But one of the first things they do is they take away local jurisdiction from local police and they reinstall militarized
Mm-hmm.
into every inner city. That's the first step that they always do before they take over a place, like a
Right.
dictatorship. And that's exactly what's happening in America. And America is the one that glue everything together in the world, because America always was like, we got the reserve currency, like the US dollar is the world reserve currency. We got like we the biggest trade post in the world. Everybody who trade with America becomes wealthy.
Facts.
So it's like we got the biggest markets and everything. So once they take over America, now they got to remember, this is not Trump per se. It's the people that's been running America behind the scenes. They just employed Trump. See, we didn't elect Trump. I don't care who you voted for. They put whoever they want in there. And Trump is the man to do what they need to do to further their plan. And their plan is to basically reconstruct America to become the AI, the artificial intelligence superpower. And in order for them to do that, they have to remove certain groups first out of the United States for that to happen. And this is the perfect way for them to do that. First, militarize local jurisdiction, make it federal, you know what I mean, override the states, and install military, collapse the economy, take over everything, transportation, food, water, energy, all that stuff is going to be taken over. The poor first is going to be targeted, and it's the homeless, of course, is going to be targeted. The elderly is going to be targeted, and the minority. And they already got a plan to take out the minority, because they're not going to need the people for menial jobs anymore, because artificial intelligence is going to be able to handle menial jobs. They already got the artificial intelligence industry built up in the background. All they have to do now is eliminate the people that they don't need anymore, so they can install their artificial intelligence. So what's going to happen is the homeless is going to become the epidemic, that they're going to treat the homeless like the COVID virus and saying we need to eradicate the homeless, because there ain't going to be nowhere to put the homeless, because there's going to be so many homeless people in the United States, because the economy is about to crash, because they want to switch to the digital system. In order to completely switch to the digital system, they have to collapse the old one. And that's what they're doing. That's why you hear about a lot of billionaires are buying bunkers, because a lot of them don't believe they're going to be able to pull this off without the people fighting back, because the prices are already going sky high. About the time the digital system is in full effect, prices is going to be so high that barely nobody can afford the shit. Only the people who invested in digital currencies. And that's a small percentage.
Very small.
That's what's happening right now. It's the very small percentage of people who's invested in digital currencies right now. And that's what they're switching to. So what they're doing is they're going to build encampments. They're going to build artificial intelligent encampments to put these homeless people in. And then they're going to start killing them off. That's what they do. And this sounds extreme, but that's what they did throughout history. If you read any history about a totalitarianism government taking over a country or a state or a city, they do the same pattern. They do the same pattern over and over again.
Well, that's what they use, COVID for. Well, that's going to be what they disguise it as. They're going, we need to get more people taking more of these vaccines. All you hear is they talking about is more vaccines. We got to be overpopulated. We got to take more vaccines. We overpopulated. That's all you hear coming from out of Bill Gates in Fauci's camp. That's all you hear. You know what I'm saying? So,
and most people know this is the truth.
Well, yeah,
you can
exactly.
feel it, or you can see it. If you got 2 eyes and 2 ears that's functional, you can see it, you can hear it. If you got a 6th sense, you can just feel it. You know that's what's happening.
I mean, all they've been talking about, is depopulation. That's all they've been talking about. If you think about all them TED Talks and all those World Health Organization conferences they didn't have and all that, all they talk about is depopulation. You see what I'm saying? So they don't hide it. It's not like it's a hidden thing. They wide open with it. They're out in the open with it, because they know people are not going to do anything about it anyway. So they that arrogant that they can have Fauci come on national TV, Bill Gates and all these different figures come on there and tell you what's what. And
that's because
they
we
know
got people
ain't
out
gonna
here
do nothing about it.
like this Rick Zubik that's in the chat saying that what this dude is yapping about is nuts, or this other person in here is Edward Hopegood individual saying you are reaching. That's why they're able to come out and talk about it publicly, because these people are either agents or their intelligence is so low that they can't even see what's happening right in front of their eyes. But the good thing about nowadays, majority of the people are starting to wake up to this in some type of way. Maybe not the full picture, but people know things are not right. People know something is off, and you could go out there and look at them damn prices out there and see things are off.
I mean, I think COVID-19 kind of, basically pretty much woke a lot of people up to see what's really going on when that whole pandemic thing happened. So for the simple fact that people don't believe it, or they just being naive about it, then, or delusional, then you gotta leave people to their own delusions. But we know, for those who've been paying attention since 9/11 happened, that been tapped in since then, see all the things that transpired that they so-called said was conspiracy theories. All the conspiracy theories came true. Even Jesse Ventura's show, Conspiracy Theory, when they had the lady on there talking about, the pandemic coming, it's back in 2009. So you mean to tell, for y'all that's in the doubters in the chat that's saying this, you mean to tell me y'all ain't watched Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory? When they believe they above that. What's the name? Dr. I forgot her name. When she came and said, listen, I gotta, after I give you this information, I gotta leave the country because pandemic is on the way. They talking about more vaccines. So you mean to tell me none of the conspiracy theories came true? Maybe you wasn't around that long. Maybe you probably just woke up to what's going on. But for us, that's been tapped in since 9/11 happened. We seen everything that unfolded.
Yep, and it all
every
came
single
true.
thing that unfolded.
All of it.
9/11 happened. The next morning they signed in the paper that
and made it trendy. They made the takeover trendy.
That's
how they were able to put it through to not make it not look like the conspiracy theories were true, because they made it trendy.
Right. Now we moving into Web 3, and they
psychological warfare.
They keep talking about the Web 3, blockchain, the new internet, and that's where they moving to. See, they need all the infrastructure in the financial system, and Web 3 and blockchain all to coexist at the same time. So they've got to implement this whole new system. They got to implement this whole new system into society. Yeah, things around us about to change.
It was a conspiracy theory that the government was going. It was a conspiracy theory at one time that the government was going to get cameras in everybody's homes. They achieved that, and then some. Yeah. Not only just cameras, they got all types of devices and stuff in their homes that they're able to tap into at any second. And this used to be a conspiracy theory. Now everybody can't. Now they made it trendy to have cameras in your home, and people went along with it because they know that the majority of the population is dumbed down, and we don't even realize when we're being played or there's psychological warfare. But back in the 70s and 80s and all, people would, when you told people, oh, government's gonna have cameras in everybody's home soon, nobody really believed that. Nobody ain't gonna have no cameras. Nobody don't trust the government that much to let them put no damn camera in their home. Now all of us have cameras in our homes, every last one of us. There's not one mother effer in here right now in this chat that don't have a camera in your home. Because if you got a computer, a smart TV, or phone, you got a camera in your home. And if you got Alexa or Siri in your home, you got even more shit in your home that they can tap into at any moment and listen to you and see what you're doing. And your Wi-Fi does the same thing. So all this conspiracy theory shit, I ain't trying to hear it. That is just a theory. It's a fact. It's just that they made it trendy to make it not look like the conspiracy theory. They made it trendy, y'all. They made it cool to have a camera in your home and to get on social media and put your location and where you at everywhere. People like this is a totalitarianism government's dream. Like Hitler would have jizzed in his pants if he had the technology we have now.
Fact.
You understand what he would have been able to do in Nazi Germany with the technology we have now? Like, this is a dream for these mother F's. This is a dream. And for people to come up here to have the audacity and say that what we're saying is nuts or reaching. Are you insane? Are you insane? Do you see the type of technology that they got us all using and making it look trendy and cool? All this shit can be used and weaponized against us. Everything around us. Like, how the hell is that? Like, how is that a conspiracy theory? Everything around us. Now we've seen movies like Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman. It's a shame what happened with Gene Hackman in real life. But Gene Hackman and Will Smith. Now you've seen the shit they was doing in there, and that technology is like 100 years behind the technology we have now. And look at the shit they was doing in Enemy of the State. They got even better shit now than they did in Enemy of the State, and look what they was doing to Will Smith in Enemy of the State.
Now listen, we know where this technology is heading, right? We see it all around us. Now we see how California is like basically they running all the prototypes to California right now. You see all the little delivery robots that's delivering foods. You have Elon Musk with the underground Tesla tunnel that looks all futuristic under there. You seen him and Gail King riding through there when she interviewed him. Now Smart LA 2028, they plan on building the smart cities because they bringing the Olympics to America. So they want to have this shit all built up by then. So they pressing forward. Where everything you see now, they're pressing forward at an accelerated rate right now. So, and they know they're going to get some type of blowback by moving people around. That's why they got martial law in place. You realize they got to start gentrifying certain neighborhoods. They got to start moving certain people to designated areas. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to use the the poker to basically depopulate a lot of us anyway.
They already started moving people around. They starting with ICE. They getting us used to it through ICE.
Facts.
They got ICE moving people, breaking families apart and stuff like that. They already started with that, but now it's gonna go even further. Now he's deploying Homeland Security and military and militarizing cities that should not be involving themselves in local jurisdiction about anything. Yeah, I mean it's not even their jurisdiction, and he's signing executive orders which violate Quasi-Comitatus Act. And he's able to deploy military and Homeland Security on the street when they're not needed.
Now, if you watch the movie Siege with Bruce Willis and Denzel Washington, you can pretty much get the idea of how they able to just take it over by just making quick executive order decisions, which basically turn the world leader into a dictator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
we
want
about to be
this.
in a world full of shit right now. Like people just don't even understand what danger we in by allowing this to just take place.
Oh, y'all need to double tap the screen, like this video. Please get the likes up on this video and send this transmission out to everybody you know. You know what I'm saying? Share it on your social medias or whatever. Because ain't nobody really talking about it. Ain't too many people talking about this. Everybody distracted by a lot of the Epstein stuff, the Diddy stuff that had went on. Like, they still talking about Diddy. Like, damn. They still trying to push that. Like, bro, all right, man, the nigga already got his...
And mind you, Trump is just the face. Trump ain't even the one running this shit.
Nah.
Trump is a hired gun. He's a hired actor to be the face of the real oligarchs that's behind this shit.
A lot of this shit
real
is coming out of
oligarchs
Vatican.
somewhere sitting in Rome. The real oligarchs somewhere sitting in Switzerland or sitting in Rome somewhere, running shit behind the scenes.
Right.
Those were the real oligarchs like to chill at. Dubai, Switzerland, Germany,
Yeah, you're right.
and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep it real. Those are motherfuckers that's really controlling things. These people that we seeing at these Trumps and Kamalas and these Obamas, these are nobodies. These are people that they hire to do they dirty work.
Yeah, because you got right. Facts. I mean, you got to realize there's a certain smaller percentage of wealthy people that's been that has generation wealth since the damn dark ages.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like they wealth go back to the dark ages.
Even before that.
Even before that. So you gotta understand that. So you have to understand Israel is tied into this well, but I'm not gonna get too much into that because you know YouTube be bugging about that. But yeah, they tied into it too.
Highly tied into this shit.
Yeah, I mean, but we ain't gonna go too much deeper on that. That's like a rumble.
And they're just puppets.
Yeah, and they're just puppets. Cause you gotta realize, just think about back when during the biblical Jesus time, the Rome had, rulership over the Israelites. Yeah, the Rome had leadership over them. So you think about that time hasn't changed. We still living under the Roman calendar now. So that tells you right there that all this shit is coming out of Vatican.
Right.
And I ain't even gonna go no deeper than that. This shit's coming out of Vatican.
Majority of it, is coming out of Vatican. The people that own Vatican, it ain't even necessarily the Pope. It's the ones who telling the Pope what to do.
Right.
It's the families behind them. And that's what people gotta understand. This goes all the way back, like you said, Dark Ages and before.
Right.
These same efforts been ruling and been using their influence to influence the whole world to basically go on their plan.
Right.
And their plan has always been global domination, and they had this technology in the cut for centuries. The artificial intelligence, the humanoid robots, the digital currencies, all that shit's been tucked away. They been had these systems ready to go at least 200 or 300 years ago. And
now,
that's
a lot of
whole dream right there.
And not only that, just a lot of these things they set them now is for future generations. We're gonna be able to witness some things, but a lot of us gonna be dead and gone by the time they fully implement. Everything.
I don't think they're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
They never will be successful. It just can't happen. You're not gonna be able to enslave the whole world.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to take over the world. Nah. It's not one nation. There's not one leader or that haven't ever succeeded taking over the world completely. Never.
It ain't happening.
Many have tried. You had the Greeks, you had the Romans, you had the British, you had Hitler over there in Germany, you had Stalin. You know what I mean? You had all these different figures that came forward and tried to take over the world, and they never succeeded because it's not meant for that. It's not meant to be taken over. Many have tried. Many came forward and tried. They never succeeded. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all to double tap this screen and share this live broadcast. I wanted to hop into this MS.
This is a very important live stream right here. A lot of people ain't talking about this. It needs to be talked about more.
So what they plan on doing is moving all these different bodies around. You know what I'm saying? They plan on moving these bodies around. Like a lot of the designated areas where the homeless is at, they're going to plan on moving them people around. But the buck doesn't stop there just with the homeless.
Facts.
You see they moving in and gentrifying neighborhoods like crazy.
Right.
All around
and turning them into projects.
And turning them into
a lot of these apartment complexes and all this shit that they built in these expensive areas are nothing but just project buildings.
Right.
And those of us who lived in the projects before and been there, we know that they're just glorified projects, and they charging a hell of a lot of money for basically project buildings.
If you think about it, us minorities, we was the experiment. That's why we call it the projects, because we was the experiment for what they was going to roll out in the future. You know, niggas is always the test. Yeah, niggas is always the test subjects. Even over in Africa, they run a lot of tests on that population to roll the rest of it out to the world. So we already know the projects are specifically, basically a training wheel for what they're going to roll out to everybody. But they
Facts.
always start with us. They always start with the niggas. They start with us first. We always the test subjects for everything. Tuskegee, all these different damn tests, eugenics. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. We always the test subject. But what they gonna roll out to the rest of the world? So the projects, it was only basically a catapult to show you what's happening now. Like you said, they gonna stuff everybody in these damn project type building. Like even I think we did a live stream on this channel about all the ones they built around the world. I think we did a live stream on that. It was like other different countries that was building like big ass high rises, had like 30,000 people living in one damn. I think that was in like an Asian country or something like that.
That was China.
China, right? It was like 30,000 people living in one big ass project building. It was 30,000 people in that joint, bro.
They were actual projects, but they didn't call them projects. They try to make them look like they were luxury.
Right.
See, that's how they sell it to us. They sell it to us as luxury. Just
luxury
like they sell
apartments,
it,
right?
putting cameras in our homes and all that. They sell it as being trendy. You know what I mean? That's what they do. Oh, it's trending. It's trendy to have a camera in your home and record everything that you're doing, and we'll pay you for it. And we can make you famous.
Yep.
And we'll make you famous.
We monetize you. You know,
but really, they're not really trying to make you famous. They just trying to put you out there so they can do that Willie Lynch on you. So they can blow you up for people to see and then tear you down in front of people just to show you their power. That's the Willie Lynch shit that they rolling out for everybody. Right. Just ain't for slaves. They rolling out the Willie Lynch program for everybody now. It's a global Willie Lynch lockdown.
Facts.
They love to build people up on social media and then destroy them in front of everybody because they get pleasure out of that. And that's how they plan to do their whole global enslavement by making everybody famous. Then you'll have a social credit score.
Facts.
And then everything you do, everything you achieve is based on what they give you.
Facts.
And if they don't want to give you it, all they gotta do is give you a bad social credit score. You won't have access to nothing. And that's because everything will be digital. If everything is digital, they can ban you off of everything. They making us dependent on digital shit. Most of us is dependent on an app now. Use an app to pay your bills. Use an app to order your food. Use an app to turn your lights on and off. You use the app to get into your damn car. Just imagine what happens.
Yeah, everything, right.
Just imagine what happens once everybody, a couple of generations from now, when everybody's dependent on the apps. They have the power over the apps. They could press one button and get your ass off of them apps. They could block you out of those apps. The apps is what they're going to use. The applications is what they're going to use to lock your ass down with. Our houses are coming with apps now. Smart houses, smart cities. Everything is an app that they control. Your digital money that they plan. They want a cashless society. Once they get that cashless society, all your money is going to be in an app. And all they have to do is press one button and you off all the apps and your ass is homeless. And you see what they doing with the homeless. The homeless is basically illegal now. Being homeless is illegal, which means you're not a fit for society anymore. Basically, what they wanted to do, they don't need to install the chips in your shoulder or your head, your skull, nothing. All the chips is in your phone. Everybody carry their phone around with them 24/7. Your phone could control your house. It could control your car. It could control your damn washing machine. You know what I mean? You think about all the shit your phone could control. And you being dependent on that, and you teaching your kids to be dependent on that. And soon we're going to reach a generation where we only know apps. That's all the kids that's going to become grown-ups, all they're going to know is apps. And who's going to have control over the apps? We don't even know how to do basic tasks anymore. School ain't going to be the same. We ain't going to have to do math and all that shit no more with artificial intelligence, with chat GPT and all that. You ain't got to do nothing. But who's going to control all that shit? That's what we have to get in our head. They are lining us up. They're lining us. They are lining us up.
Now, whether they, like you said, whether they pull it,
streets, they
like you said, whether they pull it off or not, whether they can fully pull it off or not.
Checkers.
Right? All right, so I wanted to get it. Homelessness was on the rise in America. For the people that don't, you know what I mean, because they definitely running hit pieces on that. You know what I mean? So let me know if y'all can hear that. Got sound?
Nah, you gotta redo it.
I redo it. All right.
Back. Nah, there's no sound.
All right. Let me do it again. Sound be going out, messing with StreamYard.
Make sure y'all double tap that screen and
Oh,
share
yeah,
this video. Like this video, share this video. This is very important information that we have to get out there to everybody. This is the type shit that YouTube don't like when we do this. The establishment don't like when we do these types of videos. But they like it, but they don't like it. They like it because they want the fair to be out there, but they don't like it because they don't want people to do something about it.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah, y'all go ahead. Everybody double tap and get that joint to 100 so we can continue. We had 91, so y'all double tap. We be at 100. You know what I mean? We need more. 8 more? We at 100. Because this information needs to get out there. This definitely need to get be pushed. Because it's not too many people even on this topic. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many people talking about it. Now they didn't see, Trump send National Guards into Washington. You got some people that's talking about it, but they're not going in depth with it like we is. So we need y'all to definitely share this. Double tap the screen, get these likes to 100 so we can continue, man. And the likes is free, so y'all can go ahead and just hit that for free. In the meanwhile, make sure y'all hit up our shop, nightandayherbals.com. Let me go ahead and run this quick commercial, 15 seconds. And we'll be right back after these messages, all right?
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.
All right, we sell all natural products on our website, so go over there and shop with us. We ship out fast. Take advantage of the sale we got going on too as well. We almost one more like it. We go ahead and click this play. Go ahead, click the play. All right. All right, let's get into it. All right. All right, there we go.
Homelessness in America is at a record high with more than 770,000 unhoused Americans in 2024. While the government doesn't track the number of unhoused who are working, shelter service agencies say that number is growing too. It's a symptom of what's being called the affordability crisis. For tonight's interview, we turn to author Brian Goldstone, who has a new book, and it's called There Is No Place for Us, Working and Homeless in America.
Crisis.
Brian, thanks so much for joining us. Can we start with you? You write that the term working homeless seems like an oxymoron. Tell us who would fit in that category and why it's an oxymoron.
Yeah, so in America today, across the country, a low-wage job is homelessness waiting to happen. The number of people who fit that description, working homeless, that is not like a tiny number. That's not a marginal phenomenon. A growing portion of the low-wage workforce is either at immediate risk of falling into homelessness or is already experiencing homelessness. And you mentioned that official number of people experiencing homelessness in America, around 770,000, which is the highest number on record. But by cobbling together different data sources, what I've been able to find is that the actual number is roughly 6 times that amount. And a huge portion of that number of people experiencing homelessness are people with jobs.
You have a startling statistic in the book. It says, today there isn't a single state, metropolitan area, or county in the United States where a full-time worker earning the local minimum wage can afford a 2-bedroom apartment. Give me a sense of some of the jobs that we're talking about here that people have who are working homeless.
Yeah, we're talking about people who are working at McDonald's, who are working at Walmart, who are packing boxes for Amazon, who are doing airport runs for Uber and Lyft. And when they finish their shifts, they're returning not to an apartment, but in many cases, they're sleeping in the very car that they just did that airport run in. Or it's a family that when the mom gets off work at Walmart, they're going to a shelter, or they're doubling up with others, or increasingly, they're going to these squalid extended stay hotel rooms.
You focused on Atlanta. Why there? And is Atlanta idiosyncratic or representative of larger trends?
In one way, Atlanta is special. Atlanta was the first city in America during the 1930s to build public housing. And during the 90s and 2000s, Atlanta was actually the first city in America to demolish all of its public housing. So in a way, you can sort of tell the story of housing policy in this country just through Atlanta's own trajectory. But the reason the book is based in Atlanta is more because of how representative it is. Over the last decade or so, Atlanta has undergone this dramatic renaissance, this much celebrated transformation of its urban core. And that is a trend that that we're seeing across the country. We're seeing, unemployment at a record low. We're seeing the economy in these cities booming, and we're also seeing the very people who power those economies, the very people doing the jobs that make our cities run. They are increasingly not just getting pushed out of their neighborhoods, but they're being pushed out of stable housing altogether.
So 20 seconds left, Brian. Is that why you say families are not falling into homelessness? They're being pushed.
Absolutely. Homelessness in this country is a policy choice. That's a choice that we as a society have made. And it also means that we have a choice to stop this devastating trend.
Brian Golds.
See that? People are basically one paycheck away from being homeless, bro. And
that's by design.
Yeah, that's by design. Just like this.
That's why
this
people
dude
give
said
up
right.
and just turn to drugs and shit up on the street. A lot of those people are people who lost everything because it was designed for them to lose it. When you listen to everything that society tell you to do, go to school, go to college, get a degree, do all. When you listen to exactly everything they tell you to do, you end up homeless anyway because it's part of the design. You realize all this. You heard what he said. The people who's keeping the city running and the businesses running, they can't even afford to live. But who's making all the money? The execs, the CEOs, all of them motherfuckers is living lavish. They got trillions of dollars. They got multiple homes all over the world. They got yachts. They got planes. They got boats. They got all this shit.
School.
You know what I mean? And it's being ran off the people that they tell to do what they tell everybody to do. The default setting, I like to call it. Just go to school. Get your degree. You'll get a job. That's bullshit. That's most of the time. Most people get degrees. They so far behind in student loan debt and everything, and they can't even find a job in their field. And let's be real. The millennials got lined up. Millennials got lined up. The baby boomers were tricked. The thing is, they was playing chess, not checkers, the whole time. See, the baby boomers might have been doing good by going to college and all that type shit. But the industry's changed so much by the time the millennials graduated, there was no jobs left. It was all part of the game. See, they run
40-year plus plans, right?
They run 50-year plans, 100-year plans. They know exactly how to line us up and set us up. You know what I'm saying? They knew even with the housing crisis and the real estate bubbles and all that type shit. They knew that they made it cool for people to basically borrow against their homes and shit like that. When back in the day that was a shameful thing to do, but they made it cool to do that. Now most people was losing their homes. You know what I mean? And then the taxes are going higher, the cost of living is high as shit, but the pay rate is staying the same. And we so effed up that even that's going to collapse the economy even more because most people can't even afford to pay their employees. Not any, unless you're a big corporation, and even the big corporations are going under. But the thing is about big corporations, they got infinite money because they work with the individuals. This is the gag right here. Y'all really need to listen to this part. The people who own these corporations, they work for the people who have infinite money. The banks that's able to print infinite money and enter money into a digital system in infinite numbers, these major corporations work for those individuals. So they have infinite money to where they could collapse their own businesses and create more right on the dime because they control the money system. When you control the money system, you control the whole game. The whole game is rigged. It's rigged against the general public. That's what's happening here. The general public have been duped.
And
when
all
you
the
have an
politicians
entity
bought
that's
out.
able to create money out of thin air, when you have an entity that's able to create money out of thin air, that's where everybody gets duped at. Because whoever that entity backs, they never can fail. But you know what they can do? Make other people fail. They could give the illusion of success and create these big bubbles that all these people are successful and then pull the rug under them. And then everything collapsed. The bubble bursts. That's what they do. That's what they do. And that's what they've been doing.
Right.
Yeah, and they making all of us homeless and dependent on the system. And most people don't want to believe this because and when they find out, you know what they end up doing? A lot of those people that's on the corner doing those drugs and shooting up fentanyl and all that, those are the people who were successful at one point and found out. It's a lot of people on those corners who, if you really dig deep and you find out who a lot of them are, a lot of them were big businessmen and all of that shit, and they fell into the trap that the establishment put out there for them.
Facts.
They give you the illusion of success. They got
swindled.
And then they
got
lose
swindled.
Everything because that's how the game is set up for you to lose everything. And when they lose everything, they say F it and they go on drugs. That's the system that they created. That's the harsh reality of the world that we living in.
Facts.
That's the harsh reality, y'all. There's no real success when you follow the system.
You factor in and they bought out all the politicians. So all the politicians, I don't care if they Democrat, Republican, they all been bought out because they the ones that push the paperwork through. They all been bought out, every last single one of them. You probably can't even get in position if you can't get bought out. If you ain't willing to, go along with the agenda, then most likely you're not going to get put in a position anyway. Because they only want people in there that can push the agenda through. There's no grassroots uprising anymore from anybody. Anybody that get put in office or some type of position like that has to be highly controlled. They can't make decisions on their own. Because if they try to make decisions on their own, then it goes against what they was put in there to do in the first place, and that's to carry out the agenda.
Facts.
You're already bought and paid for it. So, and a lot of them are going to sell the people out because they like, shit, I'm worrying about me and my family at the end of the day.
Facts, and that's Trump. That's where Trump is at. That's where Trump is at right
listen,
now.
this is prime example. As soon as Trump got in office, he dropped a meme coin right away and profited off the whole, crypto system that fast. As soon as he got in office,
hundreds of millions he made.
Yeah, he made hundreds of millions of dollars.
He made hundreds of millions off a meme coin, a digital currency meme coin, as soon as he got in office, and did a rug pull.
Bro.
He's a con man. I'm sorry for y'all who voted for Trump, who really believed in him, but we telling y'all there's no one to vote for. There's no such thing as no lesser evil.
Nah, they all bought out and paid.
They're all bought and paid for. Every last one of them.
I'm trying to tell y'all, really, the people, and they have a good way of keeping people divided and conquered on every issue, right? Because they know if people was to wake up and actually start banding together, cultures actually banding together and creating resources, then that will actually go against everything that the agenda is pushing. And that's what they don't want. That's why they spend so much, of the media, spend so much money on keeping the people divided, even in other countries, because they know the internet is consolidated. So now you're able to connect with people in other countries and all that, but they have a way of keeping people separated, bro, by using propaganda. And they bank heavy on that propaganda machine. I don't think they could pull a lot of this shit off without the propaganda machine. But they're losing in the information age because people have social media now. Now people are allowed to, trade ideas. Actually, whistleblowers able to expose shit at a faster rate, get shit out if they need to. A lot of people are able to connect faster. So being as though mainstream media can't even keep up with the information age.
Facts.
They can't. They're way behind. But they didn't. It's a double-edged right. It's a double-edged sword. They didn't factor in. They didn't factor that in, because if you're a person that's so arrogant in your decision,
you've been winning for so long.
Right. Then you're thinking that, okay, well, my plan is going to work at least 80 to 90%, but they're not factoring the point that being as though the internet was consolidated, they pushed all the information online. People was able to wake up at a faster rate. Now we're going into a whole different internet system that's even fast, that's even accelerated even more faster. Which they're going to try to control it as much as possible, but like I said, they can't control billions of people, man. They just can't do it.
Their arrogance is always their downfall, and the thing is that's a trick that the Most High put in there for people who always win. That arrogance is what always brings them down. They always get too comfortable on the top because they so used to winning, and they like, man, no way that these people gonna figure us out. We could laugh in their face and tell them what we're gonna do, and we still going to do it and be successful. And that's usually their downfall, because when it comes that's what comes with power. Arrogance always comes with power. It does. And it's something that the human ego cannot defeat on no levels. The human ego cannot defeat that type of power. It just can't. It just can't defeat it. That's always the downfall of every powerful, whether it's a powerful individual or powerful company or it's always the arrogance that brings them down. And that's what happened.
Facts.
It's the arrogance. They've been winning for too long. So they got comfortable. They got comfortable in their wins. Now it's going to backfire.
Yeah, every dog had a day. Right.
Every dog has his day.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they think they're gonna be able to pull it off 100%, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
It's just way too many people.
It's way too many. That's why they're trying to depopulate most of the population. That's why
and people still procreate, even though they got all this infertility stuff that they putting in the water. They got all this, this infertility stuff they doing to the food, these GMOs, these all this type of stuff that they do, all the stuff that they spraying on the food, that they spraying on us. People are still procreating because they can't stop it.
They can't stop it. Facts.
We might be weaker than our former generations, but the thing is, we're more informed than our former generations,
right?
Because of the internet, because of the technology, and they realize they can't imprison most of the world without the internet. But there's a double-edged sword to the internet. By trying to imprison us with the internet, it's also liberating us at the same time. It's a double-edged sword. Just like they can't kill everybody on the planet without killing themselves. That's like a little thing that the Most High installed into the planet to make sure no single entity can take it over. Because it don't belong to nobody particularly. It don't belong to no particular group. It don't belong to no particular person. It belongs to everybody, but it belongs to nobody.
Exactly.
And that's the key that they all missing. All these arrogant motherfuckers that's running things, they all miss that point. That point, they always miss that. They too arrogant to see it.
Because
they're never going to take over.
There's a God complex that they have, right? There's a God complex that these certain people in position has, and they think they're able to make decisions for the rest of the population without our say so. But that's not how it goes. Because first of all, we ain't meant to be controlling that way. It's something embedded in us all that we ain't meant, because you can't. First of all, you can't control the soul anyway. So their objective is to basically, control everybody on the planet, which they never was able to conquer, and they never gonna be able to conquer that. So I hope you're hearing this, elites. You're never gonna be able to conquer that. They arrogant, they ego driven, and their plan is not gonna work 100%. It's not.
Nobody's plan works 100%.
Hell no.
It's not designed to. There's not one person who had a plan that worked 100% according to plan.
All right, you had
It's not going to happen. Right. It's just shit happens at being a human in this human world. It's not going to work out. Even if it did work out for a little bit, it's not something that's going to last because it's artificial. It's not something that this planet wasn't intended for one person or one entity or one group to take over. That's not the purpose of this place, and it's not, and it's going to spit anything out that tries to do that. It's just built into the planet. It's nothing you could do about it. It's the rules. It's the rules of this place. You're not going to take over. You're not going to enslave the whole world. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. There's nothing you can do for it to happen. That's why they scared now, and you hear about these billionaires building bunkers and all that type, because they know it's delusional. Deep down inside, some of these billionaires, they can't say nothing, and they don't really agree with the plan, but they shutting up because they want to keep they billions, and they want their families to be comfortable still. But deep down inside, they know that the plan that these oligarchs have is BS. You're not going to pull it off. It's impossible. It's not going to work. It never works. It's not going to work. I don't understand like why these people don't get that through their damn heads yet. They so arrogant and they think that they can control everything, and that's impossible. From your little human body, you think you could control all this shit? You and a couple of people from a couple of organizations can lock down and control the whole world? That's delusional. That's delusional. It's crazy. Make sure y'all like this video, man. Get this out there. I hope these motherfuckers is listening. You're not going to do it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. There's no such a thing as one entity taking over the whole planet. It's never been done. Never been done. Somebody said comfortable in their illusions. Yes. That's exactly what it is. They're comfortable in their illusions. That's all it is. Someone said the government pins us against each other so we don't go against the government. Yup. They try to play the divide and conquer game, but that don't even last, because at the end of the day, all humans crave the same thing: security. You know what I'm saying? We all have a right to have security in our food, our water, our shelter. Everybody deserves that equally. Food, water, shelter, clothing, energy. That automatically comes with being a human being on planet Earth. So once everybody figured that out and all those things are taken care of, there's nothing left to really divide us. There's nothing really left to divide us. Somebody said Trump printed more money than anyone before him, and that is the most direct cause of inflation. Well, the reason, and if you think about it, not just Trump, even the former administration behind that printed a lot of money, and the administration before that, is because they're trying to, all these administrations got the same goal: collapse the economy so they could bring in the digital economy. They're all with the same plan. I don't give a F if it's Kamala in there, if it's Obama in there, if it was Biden in there, if it's Trump in there. They all in there for the same goal: collapse the economy so they could bring in the digital economy. That's their goal. All the governments, all of them is into hyperinflation. All of them. All of them. Y'all gotta realize it ain't about Trump. It ain't about Obama. It's not about Biden. It's not about Kamala. It's not about Bush. It's not about any of them. It's not about any of those Clintons it's not about any of them. Those are just puppets. Those are faces that's being controlled. Those are the names they give us so we can have someone to blame. And some people we could argue about. We could fight each other over. No, it wasn't the Clintons. It was the Bushes. No, it wasn't the Bushes. It was the Obamas. No, it wasn't the Obamas. It was Trumps. No, it wasn't the Trump. They give us that. They give us that for us to fight over. While they got one common goal. Y'all remember that commercial when they were trying to get everybody to take the poker? And they had the Democrat presidents up there and the Republican president. They had Obama up there, Bush up there. Who else they had? They had all the different presidents. Clinton up there. They had the Republican and trying to get you to do the same thing. See, they come together when they trying to persuade the masses to do something. They come together. All of them are the bad guys when it comes to the general public. I don't care who's in that minute. They ain't gonna put nobody in that office who's not gonna do their bidding. Trump ain't running nothing up there. Biden wasn't running nothing up there. Obama wasn't running nothing up there. Bush wasn't running nothing up there. None of them were running anything. There's always been a group of oligarchs, not even from the United States, that's been calling the shots in the United States. Big business control the United States, not politicians. Politicians are paid for. Big business run the United States. The United States is a corporation, not a country. It's a corporation. Banks and corporations run the United States.
Banks.
And it's always been like that. It's been like that from the beginning. It's been like that since George Washington was in office.
And we talking about central banks now, ladies and gentlemen, not just your regular local bank on the corner. We talking about central banks.
Who are these boogeymen? They're not boogeymen. They're the families that's been ruling shit since before the Dark Ages. The ones who pick the popes. The ones who pick who's going to be the next pope.
Facts. Right.
We talking about the Borgias and the Medici families and all them other elves. Right. We talking about these old Italian and German families that's been ruling shit since the beginning, and they own all the big industries that y'all niggas love.
Right.
All the Gucci's and the Louis Vuittons, they run all that. All the liquor y'all niggas love. They run all of that. Right. All the cars, all the expensive cars niggas love, the luxury vehicles, they own it all. It's their industries that they started.
You got names they put out there, Rothschilds and Rockefellers.
You got the Warburgs, you got the Ashners, you got the DuPonts, those are the motherfucking names right there. Just do the research. They ain't no boogeyman. They're there. And they run shit.
It's the Vatican. Yeah, don't forget the Vatican. That shit coming out.
That's why I was naming those families. All the popes come from those Medici families and all. They come the Borgia and all. They come from them families.
All right. This is the people they called the Illuminati. It would be those folks there.
Exactly. These are the names. Look them up. It's public.
People always say who they. Well, I mean now being as though that
nobility is what they call them.
Being as though we able to name these families, they not the end all be all, for the simple fact that we able to actually verbally say certain people's names. It's people that never will be seen or never will be heard from. Right. There's names that would never be uttered. That's really running some shit too.
No, they just uttered in plain sight. No, they hide in plain sight though. They names do be uttered.
Right.
They just hide in plain sight. Names. That's the thing about these individuals.
And under different names too. So,
yeah, they hide in plain sight.
Like the
they already been called out because we're at the end. We know who they all are.
Yeah, everything is be exposed.
Everything's already been brought to the open now because they ready to reveal themselves to everybody.
And they already have.
That's how arrogant they are.
Music industry, Federal Reserve, shoes.
Yeah, you ain't gonna come here and try to get us with the who they are. You always talk about they. Well, we telling y'all who they are. The names are out there. And the shit that they did throughout history is out there.
All right. They say I sound slow like as slow as Umar. Shit. Umar won't be talking about this type of shit we talking about. Shit, we talking about. You can actually do the research. You know what I mean? Shit, do your research, do your Googles, man. I got Google in your pocket, man. Do your Google.
Name even more names for y'all. The Westwoods and the Galtons and motherfuckers like that. If anybody took any psychology classes, y'all know about the Galtons and the Westwood. All the motherfuckers about psychological warfare and propaganda. And they control people like this person out here saying we sound like Umar, we slow like Umar. Those are the type minds that they control. They control. That's exactly who they were designed for, to control those types of minds right there. They're easy to control. It's probably an agent, or somebody hating, or both, or just someone that's a coward and lazy and don't want to do the information.
Well, shit. Well, you'll find out sooner or later. If you know what I mean? Because all the shit we talk about, everything we talk about on this live stream is fact. It's facts because we see it. There's nothing that's a mystery. It's no conspiracy theories. Everything that's been talked about in this live stream is actually searchable. Shit, they bringing it up. Shit, the mainstream media even talking about it, but they ain't gonna talk about. I mean, they're not gonna talk about it in depth. They just gonna tell you what's happening. Oh, Trump flew in some military, and it was for the homeless. Bullshit. We know it's more than just the homeless. Ain't about no goddamn homeless and no crime. They know civil war is about to take place. They plan on collapsing this country so they can move forward with the new digital system. We ain't stupid. And we know this, when systems like this change over, there's a lot of people that's gonna be asked out on the streets, and they know that. And it's gonna cause a civil war because people not gonna let their children go hungry. They ain't go to war for that shit, bro. And like we said, all them people that thought Trump was in their corner, all them hillbillies and all these people, the militiamen and shit, thought Trump. They finding out Trump ain't on their side. So now they armed up and geared up in the background. You think they ain't armed up and ready? They see what the hell's happening. They armed up and ready.
They already lost because that's what they want.
Yeah, that's what they want. Right.
They want that type of war.
Only reason
they always they profit off of that.
Yeah, you only could beat them through financial. That means turning away from the corporations and letting them fall completely.
Facts. And people coming together and stop being divided by being a Democrat or Republican or a Jew or a Christian or Muslim or a Jew or all that's just labels to keep niggas divided. All that's bullshit. All of it is bullshit to keep people divided.
Yeah, facts. Right. They trust and believe. The best thing to do is to find people that's like-minded like you and use, and connect with resources. And connect with, you know what I mean? And y'all bring resources together because this system that we in, we know that shit ain't for the people at all. And that shit ain't for the people at all. So
none of it's never been for the people.
Nah, so
all this whole system they got us locked into is bull crap.
Right. Right. Facts. Yeah. Hell yeah, it's about to be crazy within the next few years. Shit ain't even 15
niggas
years.
been voting their asses off for centuries. What have that done? What have voting done for when have voting changed anything? If anything, the voting has kept the system alive. That's what they need. They need that shit to keep. That shit has never changed nothing. Like what they say, when you keep repeating the same thing over and over, that's called insanity. And expect when you repeat the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that's called insanity.
Listen, that same two-party system is Pepsi and Coca-Cola, man. Same shit in the can, just different labels on it. Same shit.
Exactly.
It's all high fructose corn syrup poison, and that's the same thing with our voting system. They can't trick us up with the red and blue ritual shit, bro. Like that shit is the same ritual they've been pulling off.
If people want to vote, they can vote,
years.
But it ain't gonna change nothing until you get up off your ass. And not get up off your ass just to vote. No. You gotta get up off your ass and relearn stuff.
Our ancestors' mindset was always do for self. As much as possible, do for self. It was never dependent on a fucking system. I mean, it was always do for self. So voting is just a part of the game that they want us to play. They don't have to play that game. They got the slaves playing that voting shit. That's for the slave. That ain't for the upper echelon in society. They don't move off a voting system. Their shit is like grandfathered in and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Family, family ties and shit like that. They got us low-level folks voting and standing in line for hours and hours to vote for some person that you don't even know. You can't even borrow $20 off the motherfucker you voting for. You never going. They don't know you. They don't even know you exist, and you sitting there in the voting booth voting for them, and they don't even know you exist. What type of system is that? You stand in line for hours to vote for a motherfucker that don't even know you exist. I'll be damned. Don't fall for it, man. Don't fall for it. Don't be ignorant in society like this, man. Don't be ignorant, because the ignorant is gonna perish first anyway. You know what I'm saying? So all we saying is just, do your research, knowledge yourself as much as possible, so you can, pass that on to your family, man. I don't even know, man. I don't even know if people be sitting in the voting booths, just checking off names and shit. Just checking off names.
I mean, that's part of the delusion. That's part of the whole. That's part of the delusion right there, to make people think that they're in control. And most people fall for it. You feel like you did your duty, and then you sit back and you feel like that gives you a card to complain. No, you can't complain if you voted, especially if your guy got in there. If your guy got in there and you voted, what you complaining for? The only people who can complain is the motherfuckers that don't vote. Cause we telling y'all none of them are no good. We telling you none of them are, so we can complain when shit goes south. But they like to tell you the opposite. That's how you know people intelligence level is not that high. You're telling the people who didn't vote for either party that they ain't got a right to complain because they didn't vote. But they have even more right to complain because they didn't vote. We telling y'all that they fucking all corrupt and they do they corrupt shit, and we look, see, they did they corrupt shit. Then you be like, oh, you can't complain because you didn't vote. Yeah, idiot, I didn't vote for the corruption. You did. You voted for the corruption.
And to be honest, that voting system is fake as shit anyway. So to be honest,
how idiotic
to vote. Yeah, it's all an illusion anyway, because those people are selected. There's no election going on. This people
the
selected.
Intelligence level was fucking dead. Like that
those people
whatever
are
they
selected.
put in the water and the food and with a mixture of the programming had to be some Black Mirror shit, because there's some very low intelligent people around. Either they have to either be agents or they brain dead. You're not fucking brain dead. Like you're just like, what are you?
If you hardwired to the system, you already
be that damn
agent
program.
by default anyway. Shit.
Some of these motherfuckers I honestly believe is generated by what people call the simulation. I honestly believe, I'm starting to really believe that this shit is a simulation. Because some of the programming is so strong, people been repeating the same shit for centuries, and it doesn't work. Like the same shit for centuries, and it's like you try to talk to them, and they brain can't go outside of the programming at all. All they see is the programming. You didn't vote? That means you can't complain. Like how fucking stupid is that now?
But you can't. You gotta like you said, you gotta meet people where they are, man. And if for some people just they're not able to think outside, that they haven't reached that level yet. Maybe they won't ever reach that level.
That's why I believe they are generated.
It's sad for the people that are woke, that they gotta fall victim of the people that aren't woke, because they the ones that keep the system going. They want to keep the system together. So if you're a person that's awake, you just gotta deal with the people that still sleep. What can you really do about it, man? Until they ass wake up.
You can go back through every administration and point out some
every last one
shit that they did.
Man, every world leader
affected all of us.
Shit, right.
That affected all of us in a negative manner. And then you come to find out, with some type of little bit of intelligence, you find out there's no such thing as lesser evil. It's just a bunch of wicked motherfuckers that's going into those offices. That's it. Because the system is still going. The system, people were still, Come on, oh, you voted for black people getting harassed in the hood. When Biden was in there, black niggas was getting their head beat in by the cops. When Trump was in there, people was getting their head beat in by the cops. It don't matter who the fuck is in there. The same shit goes on every year.
Hold on.
How don't you see that? Like, are you complete? Like, how don't you see that?
Hold on.
There's been police brutality throughout every administration.
There's been
because they can't. Like, that shit don't make no sense.
Man, there's been police.
That shit don't make no sense. You don't see how
Everything.
fucking retarded that y'all are by thinking that this two-party system matters. When they do the same shit, it don't matter who's in office. The same shit. They invade country. Every administration invaded countries and killed innocent people. Throughout every administration, a nigga got his head beat in, like Rodney King or George Floyd. It don't matter who's in there. The same shit is happening.
Yeah. Well,
corruption as usual. And some people you just ain't gonna be able to convince because they're generated by the system. I realize that now. Some people are literally what they call them. Young kids call them NPCs, non-playable characters, in this simulation. I say that they're on default setting. Default setting is believing everything that the establishment told you when you was a kid, and you grew up and still believed all the shit. Tooth and nail. You still believe Christopher Columbus founded America in 1492, too, don't you?
Well,
like it's just like this is insane, bro. It's like crazy.
Well.
How the hell do somebody make money by telling people not to vote? Oh, that's an agent right there. See, sometimes I feel like I need to expose agents. Like some people are you could tell are just generated by the matrix and got low intelligence, and some people are just agents. You could tell who the agents are. You can sniff them out by some things that they say, because it's like it's sort of intelligent what they say, but it's only intelligent in a way that where it's manipulating people on a psychological level. That's how you can tell they're agents. And the people who's completely brain dead, they just repeat the same shit that we heard over and over and over and over again for decades. This is an agent talking right here. This is an agent. Somebody saying one way to make money as a young black YouTuber is to tell other black folks to not vote. It's very lucrative. That sounds like an agent. That's an agent. And the thing is, they do hire agents to come on here. And I'll tell you, how the hell anybody
hold on.
Hold on, though. We ain't make money by telling people to vote for a certain party.
We're not telling people not to vote, though.
Not by telling them not to vote.
Hold on.
And we ain't telling people not to vote. We're telling you this shit don't work. You can vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for.
Yo,
we telling y'all to think.
First of all, we ain't telling nobody to do it.
That's an agent.
We ain't telling nobody.
That's an agent right there.
People can do whatever the hell they want to do.
This person gets paid to come on here to do this.
I ain't worrying about the people. I ain't worrying about that because the messages that.
But I love exposing agents though, because our listeners who are on the same wavelength as us, we teaching them how to pick out the agents from the people who are just brain dead. Because the agents aren't brain dead. They know exactly what they're doing. And we need to be able to make a difference. We need to be able to, teach people how to make a difference of who's who. This is a classic agent right here. Pointing out the shit that they do. Making money to tell people not to vote. First of all, that wouldn't even be a way to make money. The way to make money in that, you would do the type shit that DL Hughley and them do when they be all for the Democratic Party and getting checks from them niggas on the low and supporting everything they do and then bashing the other party when they don't give a shit about either party. All they care about is that check that they get because they know they got an audience. Who the hell would pay us to say not vote for anyone? Who the hell would pay us? That don't even make any sense, agent.
Listen, it's about,
Who the hell would pay us
like we said,
to say not vote for anyone?
well,
Come on,
first of
man.
all,
Trying to
the
play
way
on our intelligence.
we talk, we wouldn't even get no goddamn endorsements. The way we talk, first of all, so that's why we endorse ourselves with our own products. You know what I'm saying? And people like-minded like us that actually sell products. You know what I mean? Natural products for your skin and for your hair. I mean, detoxes that actually detox your body from all these chemical poisons that they constantly putting into the food, into our water supply, into the air. Yeah, that's the shit people, because that's the shit that affects us on a daily basis. That's why cancer is so high. You know what I mean? Leukemia, all these different lupus and all these different diseases. It's because the chemicals that they use to put in the food. All these chemical plants that processes our food, even the farms that they grow these animals on, they ready to start, dismantling farms and just straight stick to labs, straight growing food in the lab.
Oh, that's only for the poor people.
I mean, they growing food. I mean, chickens in 2 damn weeks and shit, producing eggs in 2 weeks. Like they just, you know what I mean? They just manipulating the hell out of the, nature, period. So that's the shit we be on. You know what I mean? You got to be aware of the shit that's going on out here. I know you want to vote, you want to stand in line. Hey, man, we ain't telling you not to do that. Just be smart about this shit, man. Realize all these politicians are bought and paid for by the corporations. If you stick that in your mind, if you want to still participate in that shit, man, you got all right to. Go ahead.
Man, you're a damn fool still voting for
You know what I mean?
president.
But the thing about it is, we just telling you that all that shit is bought and paid for. So it's not going to go in your favor because you voted for that person. That don't mean you're going to get looked out for.
Unless you know a local politician.
Unless you know
them personally, and you vote for somebody you know personally, they gonna look out for you and your family personally. Right. And now that we're not telling people not to do that. Now, if you want to go vote for someone locally that you actually know, actually shook their hand, actually sat at the dinner table with them, had lunch with them, you know what I mean, and they looking you in your eye, and you looking them in their eye, yeah, that's different. That's different. But most people are fighting for these motherfuckers that they never met, never will meet. Even if they did meet them, they don't give 2 shits about you. You're just another number to them.
They just ain't on our side like that. I mean, just simple fact that they just not for the people. I know a lot of people voted for, these characters. And
I will push people more towards voting for local politicians than these motherfuckers. They never meet.
Like the representatives. Like
anything federal is corrupt. I'm telling you right now. Anything federal is corrupt. Yeah.
At the federal
vote
level,
for your local people that you might know personally.
All right.
People on the federal level, most of them motherfuckers is corrupt. They control. I'm just gonna be real. Most of them are controlled.
Right. The machine.
If you voting locally with people that you know, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
and a lot of them be corrupt too. A lot of them be corrupt.
Just man, listen, man.
In certain towns,
they be bought and paid out. They be bought and paid.
And they be corrupt. You gotta watch them too. But at least you got at arm's reach.
They bought and paid for it, man.
Hell yeah, they be bought and paid for it. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you know them personally, they look out for you, even though they might be screwing everybody else. Because a lot of times that's what they do. But if you feel like you gotta connect into, I'm not telling you not to use it to look out for you and your family. But just know it's probably on some corrupt shit. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Local governments corrupt. Federal governments are more corrupt. And that's just what it is. It is.
It's bought and paid for.
It's all corruption, man. It's all corruption because the evidence is all around us. Yeah, all people care about is fucking sports and all that shit. Yeah, that's all people care about. Sports and little gossip shit here and there.
Hey,
People be into that more than
yeah,
what's
right,
going on.
right.
And the only thing they feel like they gotta do for their lives is go out and vote every once in a while and do what the system tell them to do, and they feel like they doing their part. All you doing is contributing to the slavery. Cause when you follow the system to the T, all you're gonna do is have just enough, just to basically get yourself back to work again. If you lucky, be able to take a vacation here and there, and most people can't even do that because they can't afford it. But you're only working for the bare necessities. People is trying to scrounge up gas money to get to work, or bus fare, or whatever the fuck, to try to get to work. Most people barely even breaking even. That's called slavery. During slavery time, what did they? Well, we still in slavery time, but the slavery time that everybody like to refer back to, and so we can forget the slavery that we in now. Is all they did was work for their bare necessities. They clothed, sheltered, and had food, and that was it. But spent most of their time working in the fields. What the fuck is the difference in what we're doing now? It's the same thing. It's still slavery. You're working for bare necessity. You're working just enough to get back to work. That's called slavery.
Motherfuckers is one paycheck away from being homeless, man.
That's slavery. And the slaves, they were 1 meal away from being starved if master didn't feel like they worked hard enough that day. Is that not the same kind? It's all the Willie Lynch system. The Willie Lynch wasn't just for the slaves back in the day. That Willie Lynch system is for everybody. It's a global thing that they poured out for everybody. It's just slavery all around. And it keep you distracted with sports games and shit like that. That you get the appearance of freedom because you get to, you know, watch your favorite sports games, your favorite television programming. That's the only difference. They didn't, back in the slavery days that everybody think of, they didn't have those types of entertainments that we have now. So now we feel like we're not enslaved because we have those entertainments. That's the only thing that's keeping us. You gotta realize it. That's the only thing that's keeping most people not realizing they're enslaved, because you get to watch your favorite sports game and eat Doritos and shit like that. Like, that's the only thing that's keeping you from realizing you're a slave. Like, that's what's going on. That's the harsh reality that most people don't even want to hear. They click off of this shit because, like, it's just too much for them to hear, and they just say, "Oh, they talking crazy over there," because they don't want to face that harsh reality. And the ones who did face that harsh reality, they only a couple of places, either out there drugged up with fentanyl and all that, or they just gave up completely in jail somewhere, or probably took themselves out because they realized the whole world went crazy, and nobody is admitting to this slavery that we in. All of us is enslaved right now to this bullshit, to this system. In some type of capacity, we're enslaved to it. In some type of capacity. With the illusion of freedom. The illusion. And that's the most complex form of slavery, when the slaves don't even know that they're enslaved.
Yeah, your trolling ass got enough now. We blocked.
The slaves don't even know that they're enslaved.
Troll. Get your trolling ass out of here. The fuck you doing? Block that dumb ass shit.
What, people coming in here trolling, right?
Nah, the same.
You know what? It's the trolls coming in here. Those are the agents.
Same agents. Well, y'all motherfuckers, the one getting blocked. Shit, you had enough. You said enough. Damn, get your ass out of here. What the hell? You in here just to cause confusion. Get your ass up out of here, nigga. God damn. It's all right to have an opinion, but you keep just saying dumb shit.
Well, there was a trolls that's there.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right to disagree. It's all right to disagree, but when you start getting disrespectful, then you gotta get your ass up out of here. That's just how it goes. You know what I mean?
Well, you can tell the difference between the people who just have a different opinion and the people who are just here to troll and be agents.
That's why it's like, man, block that dumb ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
And the trolls, we make the trolls look stupid. As soon as we address it, we shut down anything they say. If anybody who have any type of intelligent bone in their body, see exactly where we coming from.
God damn.
Because it's the truth. You can feel it. What we're saying is the truth. You can see it in your everyday life. You can feel it. You feel all the work pains and shit, being on your feet all day and still not barely having enough money to do the shit that you really want to do. That's slavery, Holmes.
Listen. You listen. Like, I ain't got nothing against people that's working a 9 to 5 or whatever, but that is basically to keep you in the same repetitive cycle. I mean, they're not paying you enough to get rich. They're not paying you enough to pass down generational wealth. Only way you can do that is becoming an entrepreneur. That's the only way. Like, because there's a lot of people walking around saying, they got, dreams of getting rich and all that, but you can't get rich working a 9 to 5. I'm just be honest. A 9 to 5 is not going to get you rich.
But the thing is, that's how we enslaved to the concept of rich.
Yeah, 9 to 5 is not going to get you wealth neither. So, for the simple fact, but the thing about it is, being as though that it's basically keeping us in comfortable slavery. Being comfortable as a slave.
We ain't even bro. People ain't even comfortable. That's the thing.
Yeah, the hamster wheel. Well, people ain't
even comfortable though.
People not comfortable now. But the thing is, they are comfortable for the simple fact that they're still, in a cycle. You know what I'm saying? And now, if you don't work, you don't eat. So everybody have that concept, and they understand that if you don't work, you don't eat. So you have to, have some type of form of a way to get some type of income. So, I mean, and a lot of people right now is working 2-3 jobs just to keep up and maintain with the high prices and the inflation that's going on.
But the thing is, being an entrepreneur these days ain't even enough.
But yeah, it's hard.
It's not even enough because the system is so rigged. That's what we're trying to get through. It ain't about shaming people working a 9 to 5. People are doing what they got to do. No, we're not talking about that, but we ain't even got to mention that because we're not shaming anybody. We trying to wake everybody up collectively to what they're doing to us and how the whole system is rigged. And we all need to combat that by supporting all these motherfuckers. We gotta stop supporting all this shit.
That's what I was about to say. The how you do that is you have to band together to actually, bring resources together, because just not enough for one person to do it alone. You see what I'm saying? So people's gonna have to actually start, bringing ideas together and actually bringing resources together, even sustain this type of, because even each day they squeezing harder and harder.
That's not
each day.
Everything collapse. The thing is, people have to really see the harsh reality right at their doorstep. Like collectively, it have to happen like one big bang of just everything collapsing for people to do that. They have to have it to where people really ain't got nowhere else to turn to before they do that, because people are so divided right now and people don't really trust. Everybody's in survival mode. So when you in advanced survival mode, you don't trust your neighbor to even come together to even build no community of resources. That only happens when tragedy happens.
Right.
And that's when the illusion of the elites kick in, because the elites don't realize when they push too hard, that's what's going to bring people together. But they're so delusional and so arrogant, they feel like they're going to be able to push that hard and just throw everybody in slavery. Everybody just going to lay it down. Now, when they push too hard and everything collapse, that's when people ain't going to have no choice but to band together and become communities again, and not thinking about, oh, you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, you're black and I'm white, you're a Christian and I'm a Jew, and all this bullshit that they got us divided about is going to go out the window when it comes down to everybody surviving and going to need a community to survive with. And that's what it takes. That's why when you read in all the Bible and all that, shit didn't really change until shit really got bad. And that's like recording how history actually works. And it not just in the Bible, but in history, period. Things never change until things get so bad. They have to get extremely bad. And we're almost there to where shit have to really come down. And then people will put their differences aside and want to work. So for instance, a example of that is when 9/11 happened. Remember that first week, everybody was banding together in the United States. People was more friendly. Everybody, you know what I mean? You see how everybody sort of came together with that? And the establishment, of course, they used that and manipulated us into a war because they had us like, yeah, we got to get them back and all this type. And every American was on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got to get them back. It wasn't no Democrat and Republican when that 9/11 shit happened. When that first happened, it wasn't no, everybody just banded together naturally. And the establishment used that to bring in the Patriot Act and to invade Iraq and Iran. I mean, not Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan. They used that to manipulate us. So it's going to take a huge collapse for people to realize that we need to band together. But they like to give us just enough to where we in survival mode and we got to keep going back to these jobs and stabbing each other in the back. You got to realize even the workforce is bullshit because we be stabbing each other in the back just to appease the company owners and all that. You have co-workers that act like they cool with you and all this and stab you in the back the first chance they get so they can try to get some brownie points or a lead way. Like that's how they got us. They got us fighting amongst each other and for scraps like it's some fucking Squid Games or something like that. Like we're in the Squid Games. That's how they control us. That's the division that they create for us to be backstabbers. Shit got to get real bad. Shit got to get real bad first. And you know what? That's what's needed. I think that's what's needed. The Most High let shit like this go down. He let it get real bad. Let America collapse. Let it to where people barely have any more hope left. And all they got now is to depend on each other. It have to get that bad before it gets bad. It's never going to get better if it don't get that bad. Because people is not going to see it until it's really at their doorstep. That's what it takes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it takes. It's going to get real bad. That's what it takes, y'all. And we almost there. We are with the shit that Trump is doing and this stable coin, just Genius X digital currency shit he just signed into play right after he basically made hundreds of millions of dollars off his fake meme coin. Trump made hundreds of millions off his meme coin and pulled the rug on all the people who invested in it. And him and his people is the only people that made hundreds of millions. Now he need a way to be able to convert that into cash. That's why he made sure that stable coin bill got passed. Because he got to be able to liquidate all the shit he made off that meme coin into cash. So he had to bring the stable coin shit into play.
Yeah, that was like an incentive he got.
Right.
When he took office, they said, listen, we need to sign in this Genius Act. We're going to give you a coin and allow you to, basically profit off of it.
Make hundreds of millions off the coin.
Yep. So you're able to sign it. But the only way you can be able to cash out, you got to sign in this Genius Act. So he was with it. He said, yeah, well, I'll take on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll take that on. I sign on to that. If I can make
and all the other endorsements that he got from different crypto companies.
Yeah, if he can make a shitload of money. Well, yeah, that's what the whole crypto ball thing he was when he invited Snoop and Rick Ross and all them to the crypto ball. Yeah, that's what that basically was about. Yeah, they was gonna push that Genius Act through regardless. Because there's a lot of people that's invested in the digital space, and like you said, that stable coin is vital to them right now because they want to be able to liquidate. You know what I'm saying? They want to be able to liquidate. They want to be able to, everybody, liquidity.
Yep.
They want liquidity. That's a liquidity crisis. All they want to do is liquidate all the assets and, hand it over to the digital system. Dump it all into the digital system. Because that's what's going to help build new infrastructure, new agriculture. It's going to help bring about new systems that they want to build, these smart cities they want to build. They want to do it all with the digital currency.
And you see, you're gonna be able to your 401k and all that is gonna be able to be
Yeah,
backed
you gonna
up by stable
back.
coins,
Yeah,
by digital currency.
yeah,
So you'll even be able to retire with this. So it was all planned, and they get, like you said, it was an incentive for Trump to make all that money
yeah,
off that coin. Because without the stable coins, he wouldn't be able to cash any of that shit
yeah,
out.
yes, exactly. He knew that. I mean, well, that was part of the deal. Listen, we're gonna give you a coin. We're gonna let you make hundreds of millions of dollars, but in order to liquidate it, you're gonna have to sign in the Genius Act, so we you know, so you can convert it to the stable coin and cash out. Yep.
Hey, people gonna come back to this stream years later and be like, damn, those niggas was right.
Hey,
For real,
man.
watch.
Hey man,
Like,
it's all the
who
shit's out
listening,
there.
who understand
It's
what
all,
we
yeah, it's all out there, man. Like all the information is out there. It ain't like we saying anything profound and shit. That shit is just all we going off the fact that the information that's already out, that's already been put out there. Now you gotta be able to discern it and connect the dots and be able to follow where it's going, because there's a lot of shit that's happening right now. It's a lot of distractions that's happening. So you gotta be able to connect the dots. You gotta be able to see through all the bullshit too. Yeah, but on that note, man, yo, we appreciate y'all for coming through and rocking out with us, man, getting this good old information. We definitely gonna keep y'all informed. Of course, as always, need you to like this video, subscribe to this channel. You know what I mean, share this live stream, support us, man.
Head over nightandayherbals.com where you're able to get herbal products. We got the 40% off sale right now for y'all.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all head over there. We got sea moss on there. We got detoxes on there. We got organic CBD on there. We got hair care products, skin care products, soaps and body oils, all types of stuff on there for y'all. So make sure y'all head over to nightandayherbals.com if y'all want to support. Because look, we ain't no agents, so we don't get paid or endorsed by nobody by the way we talking. So we have to endorse ourselves. We sponsor ourselves with quality products.
Yep, y'all can support by the way super chats, super stickers, cash apps, all that, man.
Facts.
I mean,
the link is pinned to the top for the website. It's also gonna be in the description of this video. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man.
Yeah. And on that note, man, anything else?
I mean, do the research yourselves. Y'all ain't got to take our word for it. A lot of the stuff we talked about in here is available. The information is available. Shoot, actually, Chat GPT and Google will find most of this information for you.
Yeah, they
it's public. They not hiding any of it, so y'all can go ahead and look up all of this. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man.
All right. Peace.
Shop now at nightandayherbals.com and enjoy 35% off all our herbal CBD products. Automatically applied at checkout.